Hey, please welcome Charles Lawson. You got to see that. Hey, what I asked Dr. do was kind of talk to us on mainland athletes about his journey, and God laid it good understanding. Somebody, one of you young guys, take something away from what he says and apply it to your life. And if he didn't like it, figure it out. I guarantee somebody else is going to do that.
First of all, I'd like to say hello, and I'm very, very honored to be here. I don't get a chance to come home very often, so I'm busy, but you know, I'm really, like I say, honored. I'm really happy to be here and share my story with you guys. Hopefully, like Coach Blackman said, you know, someone in between take some of this information and use it for their life and achieve great success as well. What I would like to do is talk about my accomplishments and give a brief, story. And then at the end, I would like to take on a few questions and go from there. Well, first of all, you know, I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world and meet a lot of great and interesting people. Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, President Clinton, and a lot of others. But I have to admit, some of my most fondest memories are when I was here in Vleck. I had a tremendous first 18 years of my life. I had a lot of great friends. My classmates, unbelievable. We enjoyed each other. We had a lot of fun with each other. And I will always remember those times and hold them close to my heart. And the reason I'm here today speaking to you all is because one of my best friends. We grew up together. We had a chance to, experience a lot of things together. And like I say, actually, when I say I'm here, because of him, I'm really talking about my success with the high jump, because it started with him. He's the one who stayed on me about coming out for track and field my senior year. We were graduating and we were all going our separate ways. And he came to me and was like, hey, come out and be on the track team. Just come out and hang out. And at first, I was like, nah, I don't know. And he just stayed in my ear. Come on, man, come on. And so finally, I decided to give it a try. Went out, spoke with Coach McKinney. Hey, Coach, can I be on the track team? No. Okay. And he's like, well, you came out for track your freshman year, and you stayed out there one day, and you quit. It's like, yeah, that's true. Interesting you remembered all of that, but that's true. So I got up out of his chair and walking out of the field house, and Coach Blackman came up to me, and he was like, hey, what did he say? He told me no. He was like, what? I was like, oh, it's fine, man. It's no big deal. I'm going to go to the house. And he was like, no, stop. So he went in, spoke with Coach McKinney, came out. He was like, hey, he said, if you jump 6 feet, you can be on the track team. I was like, 6 feet? Like, okay, I did high jump before in 8th grade, and I was like 5'2", 70 pounds. And I jumped 5'10". So I'm thinking, okay, I'm 5'10" now, maybe 130. So I think I can get, 6 feet. So we went out to the track, to the high jump, set the bar at 6 feet. 5 steps in my jeans and basketball shoes, 6 feet.
Oh.
Guys went in, hey, coach, they jump 6 feet. Nah, he didn't. like, oh, serious, he jumped 6 feet. So he came out and he was like, hey, Snake, guys told me you jumped 6 feet. I was like, yeah. It's like, okay, do it again. Again, 5 steps, jump 6 feet. You know? So, of course, he let me on the track team. So, Coach Blackman, like I said, he was the catalyst. You know, without him staying in my ear and pushing me, you know, I wouldn't be Olympic champion. You know, because I never would have known. You know, I'm very thankful, you know, that he did that. And one thing, you know, that really, you know, more than anything, we've been, like I said, we've been together for a very, very long time. And we have remained great friends. You know, when he got his scholarship to Penn Baylor, it was like I received the scholarship. I was really happy. When he made it to the NFL, I was even more excited. And it pushed me to want to do the same. And, you know, that year, with 1 month left for school, I started receiving scholarships. I you know, got my school paid. You know, when he was drafted to the NFL, you know, at the time I was, you know, making headway in my school. And so, you know, I wouldn't say we pushed each other, but, you know, for whatever reason, it seemed like we just kept climbing together. And one thing I'm most proud of, you know, we had great success in our athletic career, but the one thing that I'm most proud of is that we both went on to finish with our college degrees. You know, because we didn't know, but we did have that drive from an early age, we had that confidence, and we had that work ethic. We wanted it. And so we got out and made it happen. We didn't let anything or anyone get in our way. And we worked. And so I hope you kids here today, you know, y'all understand that you have someone working with you guys that have made it, that have done it. He made it to the NFL, played at the highest level, achieved a great level of success. So there's a lot of knowledge and information there that you can take and use and hopefully, you know, achieve that success that you desire. So, you know, if you don't mind, you know, for me, if everyone would stand up and give him a round of applause, because like I say, this guy, like I said, story about my, like I say, I started my senior year of high school. I didn't really have any real understanding of what kind of doubt I was blessed with. And at that time, I was just basically hanging out with my friends. But in a short period of time, things started to develop. I ended up jumping 6'11" within a short period of time. During basketball season, I could barely dunk with one hand. But in a short, a month later or so, I'm jumping 6'11". Don't know where it came from, but I was really happy, you know, that it presented itself to me. So I was, you know, like I say, after that, with a month left of school, I started receiving scholarships and ended up going to Southwest Texas State University, where I continued to high jump, and every year I just continued to get better. But even with that, the first 2 years, I still didn't know if I really had what it took to be great. So I continued to coach. But after those first 2 years, I started to get a little disappointed because I wasn't trying as hard as I should have, and I kind of lost my focus. So after that second year, I decided to dedicate myself to getting better. I stayed at school, enrolled up in summer school, and started training, seriously training for the first time. That next year, I ended up jumping 7.5 and 4 and getting second at the NCAA championship. It's like, wow, that worked. Let me try a little bit harder. So that next year, I trained even harder and ended up winning the NCAA championship with a jump from 7.8 and 1/2. Wow, that is interesting. So once again, I was like, well, let me train harder than that. And that next year, I graduated with my business management degree. And let me tell you something funny about that. What I did notice, the more dedicated I was, and this is true, the more dedicated I was to my grades, and the better I did in class, the more I improved in the high jump. And that's a true story. Just like you train your body, you have to train your mind. And really focusing in school, that was my training because it enabled me to focus at a higher level when I was training. So like I say, that next year, I ended up graduating and jumping a personal best, which is the current American record of 17 and a half. Been there for 23 years now, and I won my first championship. So that let me know that whatever I really set my mind to, really worked hard and dedicated myself to, there was a good chance that it was going to happen. And, that gave me even more drive to challenge myself to be the best. Not only the best that I could be, I wanted to be the best on the planet. So, train even harder. And after that year, I ran into 3 problems. Well, one major problem. Back in 1990, I tore my patella tendon. My first competition of the year. And in 90, 91, and 92, I continued to jump on it until I couldn't take it anymore. So 93, to continue to jump or to even give myself a chance to jump, I had to have surgery. So I took, that time to go get x-rays and MRIs and sent them to 2 doctors, well-known doctors over in Europe, 2 here in the U.S., and they came back with the same diagnosis. My high jumping career was over. Like, if you jump 7 feet again, there would be a miracle. And of course, I spent a lot of time crying, feeling sorry for myself. But one day, watching the World Championship with my oldest son, Cameron, I was sitting there, and Javier Sotomayor broke my championship record. I set the championship record in 91. And he came back and broke my record. And it was like somebody put a knife in my stomach. So I got up off the couch because I didn't want my oldest son to see me cry. I went up to the table and just, put my face in my hand, trying to cover my face. And next thing you know, he came over and he was like, hey, I want to see my dad winning. And of course, at that point, I was just But he gave me that courage to get up and fight for what I want. So I went at it. I went at it even harder. I did my own rehab at home. Within a month, I was walking around normal. 2 months later, I started back training. That next year, 94, I jumped 7.7, which shocked everyone. But it wasn't good enough. for me. Training even harder. Ended up jumping 7'8" next year. And so that, once again, gave me that courage that I'm fine. And so there was one other obstacle that I had to get by. And that was my mindset. You know, I was still a little intimidated, scared of hurting myself. And that held me back. And so before I started training for the 96 season, I said, one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to jump, and I'm going to tear my knee up to the point where I can't walk anymore. And my jumping career, no question, is over with. Or I'm going to get out and just jump and not let that hold me back. And I chose option 2. So I got out and I trained. If I felt a little pain here and there, I didn't let it bother me. I didn't let it distract me. It forced me to really focus, learn, to train properly. And once 96 came, that indoor season, I jumped the first one back, 7'9" and 4. And at that point, it was like, okay, I got this. So once outdoor season came around, I was good. Mentally, I was solid. Olympic trials rolled around, jumped 7'6" and a half to win the trial. So at that point, I went back into some training to focus on the Olympics. When the Olympics rolled around, my mindset was only winning. I didn't want a silver, I didn't want a bronze, I wanted a gold medal. And that's it. Anything less than that, I wouldn't have been happy. So once the competition started, Arthur Cardigan and from Poland, myself and Steve Smith from England. We were the only 3 left at 7'8" and a half. Cardigan and I were tied for first place because we had no miss. Steve had missed. So the next height was 7'9" and a quarter. Steve went first, he missed. Cardigan went second, he missed. I went third, I missed. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Next jump. Steve went first, he missed. Arthur Cardigan went second. He made it. He not only made it, it looked like somebody picked him up and threw him over the bar. He was so high over. And it actually shocked me. And seeing his jump, I was like, man, I want to make mine just as high as his. But really, I got caught up in the moment because all I needed to do was pretty far. It didn't matter how high. And so I ended up missing. Put me in second place. So you know it didn't. I don't want to run my head and go far. So the judge came up to me. Like, okay, Charles, we have one last jump. I told him, I'm passing. I'll take my last attempt at the next height. So we went to the next height. Of course, Parker had all 3 of his jump. I had one remaining jump. And sitting there, looking at everything, watching, I knew, okay, I've been there. I've jumped 7. This guy jumped, his personal best is 7'9" and a quarter. It's new territory for him. So I just need to sit back, regain my focus, and wait, and stall. That's what I did. So he went, and I'm looking at him. They had his picture, his face on the jumbotron. And at his 7'9" and a quarter, oh, you could see how confident he was. There was no question that he was going to make it. But at 7'10", the eyes didn't look right. And I could see he wasn't as sure of himself. So he missed. And I was like, okay, you left the door, my turn. So they called my name up, and I got on my mark. And the funny thing, I started thinking, and this is a true story, it was like I didn't think about the competition. I thought about all those years before. Everybody, when you see an athlete at that level going for such, I guess, pride, everybody focused right in hand. And they don't understand what it took to get there and when that mental process started. So I started thinking about it from childhood on up. Robert and I, Chucky, and all of us, we were out hanging out, playing football with the can in the street, racing on the Shell Road. I thought about all of that, which actually calmed me and relaxed me to the point where I could focus at a high level. And so once I started my approach, I was so confident that I was going to make it. There was no question in my mind. And plus I had a really strong support that sat there with me. My mother was there, my 3 sisters, my oldest brother, who was also another one that gave me a lot of motivation because I wanted to be like him. He went on to graduate from college and, was very successful. He modeled, he was a teacher, and he drove a BMW. And so he was there. So I had a lot of support. And plus, being here in the U.S., I couldn't disappoint my home, my friends, because I knew if I was lost, they would have crashed, and I just didn't let that happen. So when I started my approach, all I told myself, I don't care how you do it, get over that bar. Run up there and put all your energy, put all those years of training, put all those years, spent playing, like I say, football with the can, hanging out with my friends, riding bikes, all of that into this jump and make it happen. Not only for yourself, but for your home, your friends here in the U.S. And that's what happened. When I cleared that bar, everybody, saw me celebrate. I think I said a few interesting words. We're not going to repeat them. But that's what it was about. It was about, realizing that moment, realizing that goal, pushing myself to be the best I could be, and making it happen. And that's what it was about. And that, like I say, starting with him, helped me to become Charles Austin Olympic gold medalist. But me, I'm just Charles Austin. There's nothing special about it. And I want the kids to understand it. I wasn't blessed with wings and all of that. I, just like you guys, right here in Van Vleck, eat homemade bread with a lot of sugar. There's, other than just wanting to be the best, to see the world, do something with my life, and having that will and desire and drive, and that mindset. That's all it is. That's all it is. And just be patient enough to understand. Don't focus on the immediate gratification. Look at the big picture. Look at years down the road where you want to be. Things that you want to do. And that's all it was. That's all it was. Just a mindset. And the great thing about it, all of you have that within yourself as well. And it's nothing different. You all have that same ability. You just have to, narrow your focus in and go at it. Believe in yourself. And that's what it takes. And one thing that I did after I retired, I have 3 boys now. Cameron, he's at Texas State. Alex, he's at Baylor. And then I have my 10-year-old. And when I retired, after winning the Olympics, I was approached about writing a book, but I didn't want to. I didn't think I was ready. So years after, sitting at home, I decided to write a book, not for everyone else, but for my kids, because I wanted to give them a true understanding of what I had to do. That, it wasn't that something, it wasn't just given to me. I had to put in the work. And the funny thing about it, not only did I was able to give it to them, but I've actually put quite a few. There's a banker, car dealership, teacher, athlete. I've had a lot of great compliments about this book. And the one thing that I like most about it, at the end of it, I got a lot of people contacting me. I wrote out, what I call my roadmap for success. And this is the book called Game Life Great Talent. It's like I told you, it takes more than just athleticism. It's mind. It takes a mindset to make it happen. And so with this roadmap, first thing that I had to come up with, I had to visualize how I wanted my future to look. And like I say, I wanted to be successful. Next thing, I had to list things that I was passionate about, or things that I could find passion doing. Because when you find that passion, you find that thing that you like doing, it enables you to give your all. It enables you to just immerse yourself in it and just live it. Okay? Next, I have to list my short-term and long-term goals. But I have to be realistic. One thing is saying, I want to win no Olympics. Another thing is that, and say, be honest with myself. It's possible. And like I say, I didn't know it was possible until I started committing myself to the process. The next thing, I had to figure out what steps I needed to take to achieve those goals. After that, I had to structure my life to give myself the best opportunity to achieve those goals. I had to train. I had to fit myself. I had to focus, give a lot of focus to the process. I had to learn about training. I didn't have it. I coached myself. So I had to really live it. I had to, like I say, find any and everything I could learn about training and hygiene to make myself better. That's what I did. Next, I had to figure out ways to get better. And that entails becoming more disciplined, getting my reps, making sure that I was ready to train 100%. I had to, keep distractions in my life down to a minimum. And I had to, like I told you about Robert and myself, I had to get to the point where, hey, we were not going to be denied. This is what we want, and we're willing to make it happen. Next, after that, I looked at some of the people that were better than me had that success. And I had to steal some of their ideas and their training and apply it to what I was called it worked for them. So it was like, okay, they're making it happen. So let me take from what they're doing. Let me pay attention to how they compete. You know, and just learn and let them guide you. After that, I had to narrow down, okay, who are my main competitors? Who are those guys that are on top, that are having the most success, who are winning the medals? And how do I become better? What moves do I have to make to get to their level and beat them? And then my last goal, my last step was once I was able to accomplish my goal, think about how I was going to enjoy it. And then think about what my next goals were going to be. Because I wanted this process to continue over and over and over, no matter what I was doing. So after retiring, I started my sports performance business, and I applied that same roadmap to what I'm doing. And even with that, I want to have that same success. I want to be the best trainer out there. I want to help people, especially the kids that I train, get college scholarships, go on to live positive and productive lives. So like I say, as you see, it's possible. You just have to want it. You have to be willing to work it. You have to have the right mindset and commit yourself 100% to the process. So that's enough talking about me. Anyone have questions? Give or take some on. I don't want to hold it up too long, but so.
Did you enjoy your success as a businessman?
Actually, yeah. Winning the gold medal, very blessed, very, very happy. But in my business career, it is a whole different world. It's hard. It's tough. Because, with high jumping, it was me. I only had to impress myself. With my business, I have to impress everyone else and get them to believe in me and want to come and work. So now I'm learning even more about who Charles Austin is and what I'm made of. And it's helped me to continue to improve. So yes, I'm happy.